Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. The topic of this 10-minute moan is the saga with Angela Rayner and her donations that she's received, in particular a trip to New York to a £2.5 million apartment with a man. So the headline here is in the Mirror, and their headline is Angela Rayner confronted over claims she broke rules over donor-funded New York holiday. Deputy PM Angela Rayner stayed at a $2.5 million New York apartment owned by Lord Alli, him again, over the new year while on a personal getaway which she registered under Parliament rules. And what this basically, she went away for New Year with her boyfriend, right? And the way that she's reported it isn't great, and there is potentially an issue with how she declared it. So the story goes, Angela Rayner has said she didn't break the rules over a New York holiday funded by wealthy Labour donor. The Deputy PM stayed at the £2.5 million New York apartment owned by Lord Alli over New Year while on personal getaway, which she registered which she registered under Parliament's rules, but she initially failed to declare that she was joined by the on-off boyfriend, Sam Tarry, the former Ilford South MP. According to the Sunday Times. It comes days after criticism over Keir Starmer and his wife Victoria's decision to accept high-end clothes and glasses from Lord Alli. Number 10 has now said the PM, Ms Rayner, and Chancellor Rachel Reeves will refuse future gifts of this kind. Speaking on the first day of Labour's annual conference in Liverpool, Ms Rayner told the BBC, I was on holiday in New York. I paid for my holiday in New York, but as friends do, a friend allowed me to stay. I often allow people to stay at mine, but what I felt and I went beyond the rules is because that person had donated to my deputy leadership, Lord Alli, who happens to be a friend and is a politician in their own right, I felt I should declare it. Asked if she broke the rules by failing to declare Mr Tarry stayed at the apartment, she said, I don't believe I broke any rules. I had to use the apartment and I disclosed I had use of the apartment. In fact, I think I was overly transparent because I think it was important, despite it being a personal holiday, because that person had already donated to me in the past for my deputy leadership campaign. The deputy leader said she understood people were angry about the donations row, but gifts were a feature of our politics. She said, I get that people are frustrated, in particular the circumstances that we are in, but donations for gifts and hospitality and monetary donations have been a feature of our politics for a very long time. People can look it up and see what people have had donations for, and the transparency is really important. Ms Rayner added, I get that people are angry. I get that people are upset. I think the transparency is there so people can see that. Now, if there is a national debate about how we fund politics and how we do that, and I hear that people are frustrated with that, but we have a system at the moment that says if you get donations, that has to be declared and the rules have to apply to everybody. Ms Rayner, who comes from a working class background even, said she had needed to accept donations to meet the costs running her deputy leadership bid. Well, how did you need to accept a donation, which was in turn accommodation while you were on holiday? How did that affect your deputy leadership bid in any manner? After swirling rumours of strife between ministers, Ms Rayner insisted she wasn't being forced out. I hear this nonsense in the news and I'm not being pushed out, she said. I've had this ever since I was elected as deputy leader. I'm not being pushed out. Ms Rayner also said the PM's top aide, Sue Gray, would still be in a post at Christmas after a flurry of negative briefings. She said Ms Gray was doing an incredible job and she has a huge amount of respect in the cabinet. The Deputy PM said, as a former trade union rep, she was angry that Ms Gray was being demonised. Separately, Education Secretary Bridget Philpson was forced to defend accepting cash from Lord Alli for two parties for her birthday, which were held in a work context. This Lord Alli must be bunging everybody in the Labour Party that's at any position of power. Miss Phillipson, who received a £14,000 donation from the Peer to fund a 40th birthday event and another reception, both attended by politicians, journalists and unions, told Sky News Sunday morning with Trevor Phillips, the reason that we can have this conversation is because colleagues have followed the rules. I followed the rules. I've set out the register of interests, what donations were for, who they were from, and that they're there for the public to see. What I would say is that, of course, it's frustrating to be having this conversation with you this morning, not talking about the wider agenda that we are sitting on up here at Liverpool, because we have delivered an awful lot in a very short space of time that we've been in government. And of course, it's a distraction, she said, as she celebrated her birthday by going out for a pizza with her husband and kids. So it's all like pretty seedy, if you ask me. How this Lord Alli's name just keeps popping up. And this is the same guy that immediately after the election was granted security passes to have free access to 10 Downing Street, and in fact held a garden party at 10 Downing Street not long after the election. So it makes you wonder, what's Sir Lord Alli getting out of all this? He's given tens of thousands of pounds to almost everybody in the cabinet. You know, he's been buying clothes, paying for parties. I'm not sure if he was the guy that even bought Keir Starmer's glasses. I think he might have been. You know, giving people access to $2.5 million apartments while they happen to be in New York. It's just a bit sleazy, isn't it? And I suppose that's politics. That's not unique to the Labour Party. But what does this guy get in return? I mean, he's actually funded the campaign, or so Rayner suggests, for her to become the Deputy Prime Minister. Basically, the second most powerful job in the UK. She paid and helped fund her campaign to be that person. And also, obviously, the Prime Minister, who's even been buying quite expensive clothes for his wife. And I don't really get how these people can get paid quite large sums of money, six-figure sums. They can't afford to buy themselves glasses, clothing, or rental of apartments while you're on holiday. I don't understand it. And I don't understand how you can link these things back to justifiable things to fund via politics. I'm struggling to figure out why and how you can actually justify all these things. But that's UK politics. As I say, it's no unique to Labour Party. I suppose the SNP and the Tories would have been as bad, or maybe not just as bad, but you know, doing this sort of stuff as well. And then you know, it's just all about the question of why did they do it? What do these people that give tens of thousands each, so it must be hundreds and possibly millions of pounds to these politicians? What do they get in return for the money? Because somebody gave you tens of thousands of pounds worth of clothes and paid for your campaign to become Deputy First Minister. Kind of think they'd want something in return. But that's politics. It's a bit stinky. It's a world I hope that I'll be involved in soon and try and make it a bit less stinky. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notifications bell. Put your comments below so I can hear your comments and views on the video and the topic. But most importantly of all, unless you're all these people amazingly getting financially supported by lots of money by Lord Alli, not them, right? No you.
Everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.